Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Shirashati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayat Nashtaprayasu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavato Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastike. Reading from Canto 4, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 8, verse number 20. The canto title is The Creation of the Fourth Order, and the chapter is Dhruva Maharaj Leaves Home for the Forest. Yasya Angri Padmam Parichaya Vishwa Vibhavanaya Ata Gunabhi Patehe Aja Aditishtyat Khalu Paramestyam Padam Jitatma Swasana Abhibandyam Yasya Angri Padmam Parichaya Vishwa Vibhavanaya Ata Guna Abhipatehe Aja Aditishtyat Khalu Paramestyam Padam Jitatma Swasana Abhibandyam. Word by word meaning. Yasya, whose, Angri, leg, Padmam, lotus feet, Parichaya, worshipping, Vishwa, universe, Vibhavanaya, for creating, Ata, receipt, Guna Abhipatehe, for acquiring the required qualifications, Ajaha, the unborn, Adhyatishtat, became situated, Khalu, undoubtedly, Paramastham, the supreme position within the universe, Padam, position, Jita Atma, one who has conquered his mind, Swasana, by controlling the life air, Abhibandyam, worshipable. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace La Prabhupada. Translation. Suniti continued, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so great that simply by worshipping his lotus feet, your great-grandfather Lord Brahma acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. Although he is unborn and is the chief of all living creatures, he is situated in that exalted post because of the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even the great yogis worship by controlling the mind and regulating the life air prana. Purport by His Divine Grace La Prabhupada ki jai. Suniti cited the example of Lord Brahma, who was Dhruva Maharaj's great-grandfather. Although Lord Brahma is also a living being, by his penance and austerity, he acquired the exalted position of creator of this universe by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. To become successful in any attempt, one not only has to undergo severe penance and austerities, but also must be dependent on the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This indication had been given to Dhruva Maharaj by his stepmother and was now confirmed by his own mother, Suniti. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakrunuttam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Datanti Swapatantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Siyutapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sabishakhan Vitam Cha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शादी गौर भक्तवृंद नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. So these days, very beautiful and auspicious Kartik month is going on, and last 3 days, like starting from 3 days before, we had so many celebrations like Narka Chaturdasi, then Deepavali, then now we are very eagerly waiting for Govardhan Puja. And this verse, very beautiful, talks about effort and mercy, and Krishna's lotus feet. So during this time, we always glorify about Krishna's lotus feet and how so many sages and so many devotees got the mercy of Krishna's lotus feet. So this is a very beautiful and esoteric topic, and my knowledge on this is very limited, but with your blessings and guidance of Guru and Gauranga, would like to glorify this beautiful subject matter for my own purification. So here, there are two things are getting glorified here, and Srila Prabhupada very beautifully he is discussing about Krishna's lotus feet and the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here the background of this beautiful verse is King Uttanapada has two queens, Suruchi and Suniti. So Suruchi's son was Uttama and Suniti's son was Dhruva. King Uttanapada was more affectionate towards Suruchi, who is Uttama's mother. So one day, Uttama was sitting on King Uttanapada's lap. That time, young boy, little boy Dhruva, he came and he also wanted to get love and pampered by King Uttanapada. So he also decided to climb and sit on his father's lap. So that time, Suruchi came and he was a little bit envious and he was agitated because he was thinking King Uttanapada was his proprietor, her proprietor, and he basically is a king and he is his chief queen and king belongs to him. So he pulled out Dhruva from there and he told that to sit on that lap of the king, you have to take bath from my womb. After that only you can sit and go to forest and worship and basically worship Lord Narayan, so that after that in your next life you will take bath from my womb. So and he with this agitating and disturbing words, Dhruva was more agitated and he ran towards his mother. But his mother, who was a very ideal mother, and he tried to console Dhruva. And this discussion between Mother Suniti and Dhruva, basically this particular verse is one of that. How Mother Suniti is specifying and guiding her son in a proper way. It's basically a lesson from lot of mothers like us. Like when some disturbances is going on in our kids' life, how like Mother Suniti, like an ideal mother, we basically guide our son or daughter in an appropriate way. Mother Suniti could have agitated more Dhruva's mind that yes, Suruchi, your other mother, stepmother told like this, like that, the situation could have been more aggravated. But instead, she pacified Dhruva and she told that, not to keep any grudge on Mother Suruchi and guided her in a proper way how to reach Supreme Personality Godhead, who is basically the goal of all the individuals. And now beautifully Mother Suniti is explaining that simply worshipping the lotus feet of Krishna, Dhruva's great-grandfather, Lord Brahma, also acquired the necessary qualification to create this universe. Like we don't want to go deep into this. So earlier we see that in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, how basically Lord Brahma, he is basically unborn. He is basically coming out from, Krishna has created him. He is the first living being. And when he is basically opening his eyes, he is thinking from where he is coming and he is kind of bewildered. That time basically he is worshipping on Krishna's the divine sound and the lotus feet of Krishna, and Krishna gives him the adequate knowledge which is required to create the material universe. So here Mother Suniti is also same way he is explaining that although your father is although he is unborn and is the chief of all living creatures, he is situated in that exalted post because the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now these days we are doing Damodara Ashtakam almost every day. In fact, we are doing Damodara Ashtakam every day. That we see that Mother Jasoda basically she is chasing Krishna, and Krishna is running all around in the village of Vrindavan. And finally, Krishna gets caught by Mother Yashoda. So our Acharya explained that Mother Yashoda basically she is running behind Krishna to catch, and finally she is tying Krishna with the rope. And the rope is always becoming 2 fingers short. And Mother Yashoda is putting all her effort, is getting ropes from all around, she's tired and fatigued. And finally Krishna sees that, his mother is already tired and he has put a lot of effort. And finally he decided to get caught by Mother Yashoda. So our Acharya explained there are 2 things here. The 2 fingers short we always discuss, right? So this is basically Mother Yashoda's effort and Krishna's mercy. If devotees are not putting any effort to keep Krishna in their heart, so Krishna won't appear in front of them. Krishna won't give the mercy to them. So with this, so effort and mercy, both are important. And here in the translation, Prabhupada, and here in the translation, the the glory of Krishna's lotus feet basically is discussed. So what is basically lotus feet of Krishna and why we call it lotus feet? So let's go a little bit into that. So we see that always in the photos when it comes, Krishna's lotus feet photo first basically it comes. Then slowly, our acharyas also say that first you see Krishna's lotus feet, then slowly you go to his calves and then to his waist, and then basically we see Krishna's beautiful face. So when we talk about lotus feet, always the talk of lotus basically comes into account. We see that lotus is a very beautiful flower, unique flower, comes in white and pink color, and it blossoms in the month of like Sarat Rutu, they say, in the month of in the early autumn. Basically, the lotus basically it blossoms in the lakes. So lake, sometimes we see that the water is very muddy. In that muddy water, lotus basically blooms. So for all the flowers, we see that the surrounding will be very, very clean. Soil will be there, and it has to be clean. There won't be any box. It has to be very, we take good care of it, and then the flower blooms. But lotus is a particular flower. It blooms in the muddy water. And the greatness of the lotus is like, even if it is coming out of the muddy water, the leaves are not touched by the muddy water. It still stays fresh, and always it looks at it looks very bright. Similarly, this material world is basically full of contamination. There are three gunas are there. We all, when we are born out of the material world, we are all contaminated by these three gunas. But when we are basically distressed, and our acharyas or sadhakas basically they pray Krishna that to rescue us from this material world, Krishna appears like a lotus in this material world. That this material world is a muddy water, and can be compared with the muddy water with lot of anarthas are there. But Krishna, when he is coming out of the muddy water as a lotus, he is not contaminated by the contaminations of the gunas from the material world. He is not touched by this. So that's why Krishna's feet are basically called lotus feet. There is a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 28. Here it says that Sanchintayat Bhagavat Charanara Vindam Vajra Ankusa Dhwaja Saruha Lachandyam. That means the devotee should first concentrate his mind on the Lord's lotus feet, which are adorned with the marks of a thunderbolt, gourd, banner, and a lotus. The splendor of that beautiful ruby nails resemble the orb of the moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart. Like when we look at Krishna's lotus feet, immediately some kind of joy come in our heart. We will be having a lot of distress, so many things are going in our mind. But when you go to temple and look at our beautiful Samsundar's beautiful lotus feet, all of a sudden a smile and a joy and a kind of security comes within our mind and heart. Sometimes we see that our devotees looking at our Radha Samsundar and tears will be falling from their eyes. Everybody, like get captivated by the beautiful lotus feet of Krishna. So our Acharya says that we should always first concentrate our mind on Krishna's lotus feet. Basically, which are adorned by the divine symbols of a thunderbolt, goat, and a banner, and a lotus. Now, Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas always say that when we take a darshan of Krishna, how to take darshan of Krishna? First, we enter Krishna. Sometimes, they say that immediately don't take vision of directly the lotus face of Krishna. Krishna's every part is beautiful, but we should first take darshan of Krishna's lotus feet. Why? Because our situation is just like a servant. Like with our Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says the Jivara Surupa Krishna Nitya Das. If you see like how a master and servant relationship, when a master is there and a servant is coming, servant doesn't look at directly to the master's face. What does the servant do? He looks at like master's feet. Directly he doesn't have eye contact. So immediately that mood, Srila Prabhupada always advises us that when we enter a temple, we should always look at Krishna's lotus feet. We should meditate on Krishna's lotus feet. First at the lotus feet, then slowly, gradually we'll rise to his thighs, then the waist, then his chest and face. Once we should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to see the lotus feet of Krishna. So in that way, our Lord Shiva always, he emphasized in Srimad Bhagavatam that Srimad Bhagavatam basically is compared as body of Sri Krishna. Like first two cantos, They are basically the two lotus feet of Krishna. So when we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we don't directly jump into chapter 10, like which is compared to Krishna's face, lotus face. So what our Acharya says that we should always, like start step by step. We should always start from chapter 1, glorify chapter 1, read the essence of chapter 1, then go to chapter 2. Like that, we should read Srimad Bhagavatam. That way, what happens? We understand Srimad Bhagavatam in a systematic way. And when we look at Krishna's uh, lotus feet in same way, basically what happens? We become more and more surrendered to Krishna. So there is a beautiful bhajan. Bhajahure mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Govindas, our previous acharya, he says that in our mind, oh mind, please worship lotus feet of Krishna, who is son of Nanda. Because when we worship the lotus feet of Krishna, what will happen? We will become fearless. So there are so many calamities are there, which sometimes it becomes like disturbing to us to worship and do our sadhana. But we worship Krishna's lotus feet. What happens? We become fearless. Now, another reason, why we worship Lord Krishna's lotus feet is from Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Basically, Ganga is emanating. That same Ganga water, basically our Lord Shiva, basically he is holding in his hair. So Lord Shiva could understand the value of water which is coming out from Krishna's lotus feet. So he is holding that water in his hair. So and there are so many rivers are there, but Ganga river is the water of river Ganga is very very important and is there's like Patita Pavan kind of thing because it is emanating from Krishna's lotus feet. So there is a beautiful verse in Orissa and Bengal. It goes on that Sakara Tirtha Tocharane Badrika Jibi Ki Karane. That means that all the holy places are basically they are all are together at Krishna's lotus feet. Like any dham, any particular temple you visit, if you are surrendered to the presiding deity of Lord Samsundar or Lord Krishna or Lord Jagannath over there, you don't have to go to visit any other places because all the dhamas they are basically situated at Krishna's lotus feet. Now let's discuss about how when we worship Krishna's lotus feet, how somebody gets purified. Now there is a beautiful story of the four Kumaras. Like four Kumaras, they were not they were not they were not worshipping Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal form. They were impersonalist. So out of curiosity to know more about Lord Krishna, basically, they are entering Vaikuntha, and in the Vaikuntha, Jai Vijay basically are asking them to wait over there, and they are not letting them inside. So four Kumaras got more agitated, little disturbed, and they started to curse Jai and Vijay. So that time, as a good master, like Lord Vishnu, basically he was residing inside, and he came out, and he gave darshan to four Kumaras. Like four Kumaras, when he see Krishna's, basically when he see Lord Vishnu, and immediately their eyes, basically his eyes took darshan of Krishna's lotus feet. Like in the picture, if you see here, the Kumaras are looking at Krishna's lotus feet. When they're looking at Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna's lotus feet is just like a lotus petal there, and his toenails are kind of ruby kind of thing, and light is emanating from that. And there is a beautiful tulsi leaf is there. The fragrance of tulsi leaf and Krishna's darshan of the Krishna's lotus feet, when it enter into the nostril of the sages, they experience a change of their heart and body and mind. So even though they were very much attached to impersonal feature for their understanding, they got captivated. Lord's beautiful face appeared to him just like a blue lotus, and the Lord's smile appeared to him like a blossoming jasmine flower. So this is all because the fragrance which is coming out of Krishna's lotus feet, and the aroma of the tulasi, in the breeze is coming, the aroma of tulasi, and which is like a little bit like tossed by that scented water and sandalwood paste. In that, the four Kumaras got captivated, their mind and got captivated, and they had a change of heart. From the impersonalists, they become personalists and started worshipping Lord in his form. So that is the power of Krishna's lotus feet. So, and Mother Rukmini also, in Lochandas Thakur's one in Chaitanya Mangal, there is a beautiful topic about how Mother Rukmini, basically he is glorifying Krishna's lotus feet. Like once Krishna, basically he entered Mother Rukmini's palace, and that time Mother Rukmini very happily came out, and with other queen Mitravinda and Nagnajit, she started worshipping Krishna's lotus feet, and in the procedure she got water and started wiping Krishna's lotus feet very beautifully and meticulously. He started washing Krishna's lotus feet. While Krishna's washing lotus feet, she was very happy. There was a lot of joy in her heart that I am getting an opportunity to wash Krishna's lotus feet. That lotus feet of Krishna today has appeared in my house, in my palace. But then sometime then, like immediately a thought came to her mind that what will happen if Krishna leaves me? I won't be able to see Krishna's lotus feet. Today, some devotee will call Krishna, Krishna will go there. Krishna was earlier in Braja. He's anyway in his mind, always the Braja's thought is coming. And tomorrow some other devotee will be somewhere and they will be in distress and they'll call out for Krishna. Krishna will immediately go there. And this lotus feet, whatever I'm seeing here, is very temporary. And maybe tomorrow I won't get the association of Krishna's lotus feet. And these lotus feet are so dear to my heart. For there, so many sages are doing so many meditation. Mother Lakshmi basically, she is the she has all the opulences. She is the goddess of fortune. She bestows fortune to everybody. That Mother Lakshmi constantly is massaging Krishna, massaging, like Vishnu's lotus feet, and uh, and she's happy by massaging Vishnu's lotus feet. She's happy that, and she doesn't want to leave that seva for 1 minute. And now here I have a fear that Krishna might leave. Even says Brahma, and even Brahma and then Lord Shiva, they are also meditating on this lotus feet. What will happen to me? I'm just a simple lady and let it queen, and maybe Krishna will leave me. So these kind of thoughts came into her mind, and she got bewildered, and all of a sudden teardrops started falling from her eyes. Looking at Rukmini's teardrop, Krishna was also very surprised. She thought, I did not do anything, and why Rukmini is crying? And Rukmini was crying because he was ecstatic to have Krishna's lotus feet, and he's weeping simultaneously because Krishna might leave. So then when Krishna inquired, then Rukmini basically she's explaining that she is more attached to Krishna's lotus feet than Krishna himself. In that ecstasy what she is feeling, even Krishna won't understand that. Krishna knows everything, but Krishna would understand that what is the power of his lotus feet. Then Krishna inquired, what are you saying that I know everything, but I cannot understand this? Then Rukmini started explaining Krishna that the fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet spreads in all directions, and simply smelling that fragrance, anybody can free from birth, old age, and disease. All they suggest they meditate on this beautiful lotus feet just to get association of that lotus feet, just to have a little bit, that's a glimpse of that lotus feet. And one who drinks the nectar of lotus feet becomes transcendental to day and night and all the seasons. Like basically they come out of the duality. Like we see in Bhagavad Gita, there is a duality of day and night, heat and cold. Like when we are basically attached to Krishna's lotus feet, we come out of this duality. The pure devotees who lovingly fold Krishna's red lotus feet are worshipped by the whole world. Like we see that why we worship our gurus and guru vargas and acharyas, because they are always meditating on Krishna's lotus feet. And she also tells that Goddess Mother Saraswati and Mother Lakshmi, they also always aspire to get Krishna's association of Krishna's lotus feet. And finally, she prays that I want to become a honeybee. Like a honeybee, what he does, like Krishna is wearing a garland, and the honeybee will be always circumambulating around the garland just to take just to take little bit nectar out of it. So similarly, she's saying that I want to also become a honeybee and perpetually situated next to the lotus feet, and so that she can taste the nectar of that lotus feet. And finally, she prays and pleads to Lord Krishna that kindly don't leave me. So that is the power of Krishna's lotus feet. Now, Krishna's lotus feet is so powerful and simultaneously so beautiful and so pleasant that even Lord Krishna want to taste the mellow of his own lotus feet. Like, and there is a Bal Gopal Sutram is there, where our Markandeya says he is glorifying Lord Krishna in the Bal Gopal form. He is saying that Krishna has put all his energies and all activities in his lotus feet, so that the sages basically they want to worship his lotus feet. And now Krishna is thinking that there is something hidden in my lotus feet Because of that, everybody are worshipping my lotus feet and they want to get association of my lotus feet. So I also should taste what is there in my lotus feet. So that's when the devastation is going on, and the entire universe basically it is getting overflowed by water. There is water all around. So Markandeya Rishi basically he is running here and there to find a shelter. Then finally he says that there is a banyan tree and the banyan leaf is there, and the banyan leaf basically the Krishna is sitting. Krishna basically is residing in a Balagopal form, and he is seeing that in his when he is inhaling and exhaling, the universes are coming and going out of his nostril. And the same Krishna, he's what he is doing? He's sucking his toe. So then he is inquiring what nectar and what honey is coming out of that toe. That Balagopal Krishna is himself. He is basically sucking his toe. So he got captivated by this beautiful sight, and he decided the Balagopal or Balamukunda Stotra. Basically, he started reciting that. So even the Lord licks his toe to taste the nectar for which the devotee always aspire. So we see that Krishna, when he is in Dwarka and all these things are going on, basically later on, he decides to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So sometimes Supreme Personality of Godhead, he himself wonders how much transcendental pleasure is residing within him. So in order to test his own potency, he sometimes takes the position of testing himself. So we see that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, but he appears as a devotee to taste the sweetness of the transcendental mellow in himself, which is tested by Srimati Radharani, and who is the greatest of all devotees. And now finally coming to this our Govardhan Puja, which is we are observing, which is basically is tomorrow, and we are observing in our temple on Sunday. It is basically celebrating with lot of mountains of bhoga preparation for the pleasure of Giriraj Govardhan. On Sunday we are doing, and tomorrow is basically the actual day. So why Giriraj Govardhan is so important? Why we are emphasizing, our acharyas are emphasizing that we should worship Giriraj Govardhan? So Giriraj Govardhan is basically Krishna says that on the Indra Purnima day, that you when devotees are worshipping Indra, basically he is saying that you worship Giriraj Govardhan, and Giriraj Govardhan is equivalent to me. Why? Because Krishna himself, and there is a reason that yes, Giriraj Govardhan is giving shelter, and all the cows are basically he's gazing on it, and he's giving all kind of where they're doing all kind of harvest, and all those things are there. But Krishna himself, with all the Gopavasis, he has walked on that the land of Vrindavan and Govardhan. Anywhere we see that Krishna is there with the lotus feet. Like Dwarika, he is a king. He's wearing a shoes and everything. He's otherwise he is riding a chariot. But only place is Vrindavan and Govardhan, where Krishna has walked with his friends in the barefoot. Cows are also there. Everybody are there. But Krishna, he has walked in the barefoot. In that barefoot, when Krishna is there, he's walking. That dust and that Brajaraja, they say, it is very, 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 very powerful because Krishna's mercy is there, and Krishna has worked on that in the barefoot. So that's why the lotus dust of Braja is basically very powerful and very potent. And since Krishna in his barefoot walked on Giriraj Govardhan also holds a special place and prominent place in all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas' heart. So tomorrow is the Govardhan Puja, and we'll be celebrating on Sunday. So in a big way to glorify Giriraj Govardhan. So with this, would like to end today's discussion, and we discussed about the mercy of Krishna's lotus feet and how Mother Suniti is advising her son Dhruva to meditate on lotus feet of Krishna, which is basically gives all kind of shelter and remove the fear. And by worshipping his lotus feet of Krishna, how his great grandfather is citing an example, is getting basically is getting all kind of potency to create this universe. So we all should aspire to have darshan of Krishna's lotus feet in our heart, so that we can follow the footstep of Dhruva. With this, wishing you all a happy Govardhan Puja and Annakut ceremony. Thank you so much. Haribol.
Thank you very much, Mataji. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare. Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Prahladesh, Jaya Padma Makha Padma Bringam. Ugravi Namaha
Ugrave
Vishnu
Namaha
Jalantam
Vishnu
Sarvatomukham
Jalantam
Bhattachyam Vishnam Bhadram
Sarvatomukham
Vidyam
Vishnam
Vipinam.
Bhadram Vidyam.
Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai,
की
Prahlad
जय
Maharaj ki jai.
जय
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samar Vaishnavas, Vancha
पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां
Patitanam
पावनेभ्यो
Pavनेभ्यो Vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो
Namo
नमो
Namaha.
नमः।
Vaishnavrinda ki
की
jai.
जय
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila
की
Prabhupada
जय।
ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.
हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you, Prem.